In 2006, the British band Arctic Monkeys released a song A Certain Romance, which features this lyric.
There's only music, so that there's new ringtones.
This got me thinking, where did ringtones come from? How did they evolve into a billion-dollar industry, ultimately just to turn into a scam? And why do you see nobody using custom ringtones anymore? Well, apparently some people still do. This story begins with the first phones in the late 1800s. These phones would be significant for the development of ringtones due to the fact that they mostly all featured a bell of some kind that would ring, hence the name ringtone. There was a need for multiple ringtones even very early on, as back then there were no displays to show who was calling you, so having the phone make different sounds for different calls was useful. It would also be very useful to have distinct ringtones for rooms which had multiple phones in them. In the 1960s we started to see more complex ringtones being created, deviating from the common bell ringing to the more modern sounding ringtones. In fact, a ringtone credited as being one of the first modern ones comes from the 1966 movie Our Man Flint. By the 80s, the chips used inside the phones to create audio were getting more and more sophisticated and allowed for a variety of sounds to be produced. However, it wouldn't be till the mid-90s that the chips got sophisticated enough to play complex melodies, and even then, compared to full popular songs at the time, these ringtones still seemed very basic. Francisco Tárrega was a Spanish musician, and in 1902, Grandes Vals was composed by him. If you change the last note from an A to an E, it becomes a Nokia theme, a ringtone that launched on the Nokia 2110, released in 1994, after the original song was used in an advert for the Nokia 1011.
Nokia. It remembers because it's human to forget. Maria? Nokia. Connecting people.
In fact, Finnish companies would go on to create many ringtone innovations. For example, in 1998, a service called Harmonium allowed for the creation of custom ringtones. In 1997, a Swedish student named Daniel Marmadal recorded himself imitating the sound of a motorcycle. He uploads it online and it becomes viral. Because of this, he gets asked to perform it on TV, and now it really becomes viral. In 2003, Erik Wernquist, also from Sweden, comes across the audio online. Being inspired by it, he goes on to create a 3D animated character that he calls the Annoying Thing. This eventually gets the attention of Ringtone Europe, who would later become Jamster. After they license the rights to the Annoying Thing, they rename it to Crazy Frog. Erik went on to say in an interview, "If I had known that this was going to be such a big thing, I would not have allowed them to use that stupid name. It has nothing to do with the character, and it's not a frog, and it's not particularly crazy either." Now Jamster and the rest of the music industry knew they were onto a good thing, as the rise of Crazy Frog and other characters like him told the industry that they could sell ringtones for upwards of $3 and people would buy them, so they made loads of them. But the thing is, a lot of these ringtones were not a single buy kind of thing. A lot of them were subscription based models, and in some cases people were not aware that that's what they were paying for. This is made much worse when a lot of these ringtone characters can be seen as being marketed towards kids. In fact, by 2006, things for the ringtone companies were starting to change. Crazy Frog that year had a revenue of 40 million. The fact that kids didn't know that it was a subscription became such a problem that the United Kingdom's Advertising Standards Authority had to ban the adverts of Crazy Frog from airing on TV before 9 PM. However, now it seems like we've reverted to the time before the gold rush of $3 ringtones in the mid-2000s. If you're anything like me, the majority of ringtones that you hear today are the default ones that come on people's phones. I think this might be because of the internet and how technology we've used has become less and less customizable over time. Look how the change from Web 1.0 to 2.0 has changed how a person might design a website. Now they would likely just make an Instagram or a Twitter account instead. People seem to want their technology to be the best and more efficient, rather than their own. Another reason was just that the $3 ringtones was just too much to ask for. It's excessive when people are calling on regular phone calls less and less, instead choosing to use video call or regular texting. To conclude, the history of ringtones is an important one when it comes to the advancements of portable music technology. However, it also shows that without much effort, it can be used to easily make money from vulnerable people who don't know what they're signing up for. In a way, it was the ringtone industry themselves that led to their downfall. Thanks for watching.